Hi, I'm Peggy Kelly of the Mighty Santa Paula Times, and this is Good Morning Santa Paula. It's Thursday, June 17th, and our guest today is City Manager, Santa Paula City Manager, Dan Singer. Hi, Dan. How are you?
Hi, Peggy. I'm doing great.
Hey, great. Always wonderful to see you.
Likewise. It's a beautiful day, and we're finally getting summer weather, aren't we?
Yeah, we're getting summer weather, and we're getting better news all the time. So yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about COVID changes at City Hall now that things have opened up much more.
You bet. This past Wednesday, the governor has rolled back all of those tiers that were somewhat confusing and challenging to meet. And for all intents and purposes, things are pretty much back to normal. There are exceptions around schools and also around really large gatherings, what they call mega events. We don't really have any mega events in Ventura County, except the fairgrounds, but of course they canceled the fair this year.
Yes.
So it's not something you have to worry about unless you're headed to Dodger Stadium or the Coachella Music Festival or something. But yeah, so what it means is all of the restrictions that were on businesses have now been lifted, including public facilities. That means that our city council will be able to go back to in-person meetings here on Ventura Street in the council chambers at City Hall. That'll happen starting in July. Our other committees and commissions will start meeting in person. There's no restrictions on how many people can show up and participate. And so the real one exception is that those who have not been vaccinated are asked to respectfully wear a mask when they enter, a public facility or even a place of business. Now, businesses can always make their own rules up, right? So a business has a right to protect their employees. And if that protection means that they want to ask their employees to wear masks, or if they want to ask their customers to wear masks, they can do that. But generally speaking, people are free, if they've been vaccinated, to not have a mask on indoors or outdoors. And those that have not been vaccinated don't need a mask outdoors. There's no social distancing requirements, but they are asked, if they've not been vaccinated, to put a mask on when they go inside.
Wow, it's been a long 14 months, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It has. And great to see that our businesses have, generally speaking, survived. I know there's a lot of families that have struggled through this, but jobs are coming back online. People are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. It's been such a delight to be out at, cruise night last weekend, and this Saturday will be the craft fair, the market on Main Street. People, you can just see the energy and enthusiasm that people have for having the chance to be outside. Yes. And of course, if they want to have a mask on, or they don't want to, they're not ready to hug and shake hands with their neighbors yet, that's okay. We need to be respectful of where everyone individually is at with, how they feel about this. But it's just so nice to be able to see people coming together.
And everybody looks so happy. Have you noticed that? How just everybody's, their eyes are bright, and,
completely agree.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's long overdue, but thank goodness we're here and we're going to stay here. Now, speaking of the council, I guess last evening you guys the council adopted the strategic plan. Do you want to give us a glimpse of what's going on? I know they've worked very hard.
Yeah, they went through a number of workshops, worked together with the facilitator and our executive team to really lay out, like, what are some achievable goals and objectives for the city. And especially now that we know we have some stimulus money coming, what are going to be the priorities for our staff as we look at this next 2-year period. So the strategic plan, in addition to having your, mission and vision statement, has 7 broad-based goals pertaining to really broad topics of importance to the council. Art, culture, and entertainment are one. Economic development is another. Public safety, of course, is in there. The public will be glad to know that infrastructure and transportation and mobility is one of the broad goals, because that, of course, relates to our street system.
Absolutely.
We have a goal of having a connected and healthy community, and one for community vitality. And those are really designed to have initiatives in there that help us connect better with the community and help support our community. And then finally, a goal of operational excellence aimed at how do we become a more efficient city? How are we delivering services to the community? There's almost 60 objectives in there. And so we're excited to get started on a number of those. Some of the objectives that the public will appreciate is we're putting a new focus on greater grant writing, hoping to attract some federal and state and foundational money to this community for various projects. We have a goal of establishing a PAL program, Police Activity League, doing more support for our youth and our teens, especially around youth employment and internships and things like that.
Great.
There's some really nice goals or objectives in there about beautification, notably for our core downtown, but also for other aspects of the community. So there's a lot that we're excited about. I know the council feels good about. And for our average resident, what it really means is that you have a unified council that's giving direction to staff to say, go out and get these things done. Go out and make this a better community, help, support our nonprofits, connect us, support events, find ways to better market our town, et cetera. So we're quite enthusiastic about it. And I think we're going to see a lot going on in these next couple of years. And the reason it's a 2-year plan is because next week, the council will adopt their 2-year budget. It's the first time we've done a 2-year budget. Usually it's an annual budget. But since we have funding now, determined for the next 2 years, it really makes sense to also have the strategic plan align with that 2-year period.
And that includes, of course, the ARP money, correct?
It does. That's kind of like the icing on the cake.
Yes. Ooh.
Yeah, it's the bonus money.
Mm-hmm.
The ARP funding is going to be a significant boost for us. A lot of the objectives that are in the strategic plan are going to be achievable in these few years because of some of that ARP money. We'll also be trying to spread it out in the community, supporting things like our homeless and housing assistance, business assistance. We've had a number of residents who have fallen behind with their utility bills. And so there's assistance anticipated with those funds to support members of the community that need that kind of financial help.
Yes.
And we're also hoping to use the money to really address a lot of smaller projects and equipment purchases that as a rural community and not a wealthy place, we often struggle to keep up with those kinds of things. So there's some nice funding in there for matters like that, including, as I said earlier, some of that downtown beautification.
And to remind our viewers, it's 5.6 million total, correct?
Well,
years.
So late breaking news, we found out just this last week that our allocation is actually going to go up.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not often when you get that kind of good news.
Wow.
Usually you hear, oh, well, we have to spread it out to more people, and so everyone gets a smaller share. In this case, our allocation is going up by about $1.5 million.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so we'll now have about 7.1 million over the coming couple of years. It doesn't all come at once.
Mm-hmm.
And it does have to be spent by 2024. So there's the pressure's on to really get it out in the community and do good work with it.
Of course, a lot of this stimulates the economy overall for the
right.
city. I mean, a lot of it, that's actually what the bottom line is when you get right down to the bottom line, that it's going to fix things, fix programs, fix people, and help fix our local economy and stimulate that. I mean, it's a wonderful idea. It reminds me of FDR, when he his programs, WPA and those other things. I'm much too young to have lived through.
I was going to say, you don't have to admit to ever having lived through those years, of course, but you heard about them and read about them, right?
Oh, I read about them and I support them. And some of those beautiful buildings in town were part of the WPA project of the 1930s. So So, well, that's wonderful. I'm delighted to hear about the increase in the funds. That's just.
Yeah, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And like I said, I think we're going to do some good work with it.
Mhm. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to seeing the strategic plan. So that'll be posted online once you're able to find somebody that's gonna be able to put all those pages in there.
Yeah, we actually have it on our website now, but the council asked for a couple of fine tuning aspects. We'll be doing that, and probably by July 1st, we'll have it finalized. So.
But it's pretty well what it was in the agenda is what
it is. Their comments were more like, stop using so much government speak, right? There's a lot of acronyms in there that aren't well spelled out. So they just smartly suggested that staff take the time to spell some of those things out.
Oh, that's very true, you know.
Yeah.
And I find myself using them sometimes too. And 9 times out of 10, I'm wrong in what I'm using. So I only use it even more. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Now, other good news is the fireworks show is back this year.
We're back and bad. Yeah. So great to have the Rotary Club again sponsor this year's festivities. You know, last year it came down to the wire. We were one of the communities holding out to still do the show, and then ultimately had to pull the plug. But fireworks will be back in their official capacity on July 4th at 9:00 p.m. Sharp. They are discharged over at Harding Park off of Harvard Boulevard over on the east side of town. You can show up at the park anytime in the basically kind of 5 o'clock or so. You can start 5 or 6 o'clock, I think. You can start to enter the park and put your blanket out. You don't have to view it from there. The fireworks are viewable really from almost every corner of Santa Paula.
Yes.
So, you know, if you don't want to get in the traffic jam, feel free to view it anywhere. They're free to the community, so there's no entry fee if you want to be out at Harding or anywhere else. And this is our way of also reminding the community that we can celebrate with the fireworks show, but fireworks are otherwise illegal here.
Yes.
And I'm not just talking about the illegal fireworks. I'm also talking about the safe and sane fireworks, like the ones you can buy over in Fillmore. Even those are not permitted. Our council last year adopted stricter guidelines about fines for people who are discharging fireworks illegally. And now it allows us to even hold homeowners responsible.
Yes.
If it's, you know, their children or their tenants that are doing this. We will not just confiscate the fireworks, but we will be issuing fines. So, you know, it's very, very dry out there. Fireworks are generally unsafe, but especially during a drought and in such a high, you know, prevalent fire area, we just really need to be careful about lighting things off in the sky.
Yes, and very good point, because most of the illegal firework, most of the fireworks in Santa Paula that I know that they've confiscated in the past and are used a lot are actually illegal fireworks that are coming from out of state, coming from out of country, whatever, and they are not even half as safe as the safe and sane, which you can't use here anyway. But they're you know, they go in the sky and blow up, and the worst risk there is.
Yeah.
And of course, there's the humane factor involved too, with people who might be suffering from PTSD or nervous conditions. Animals can't stand them. It's really sad.
It's horrible for our dogs. And I know this is a heavily animal loving community, especially their dogs. So
yes. And people really, it's just juvenile is what it
well,
is.
last year, as an example, we had a lovely dog that got out because of fireworks and ran across the road and got killed.
Yes.
And that is not a rare occurrence.
Yes.
There was another animal that was badly injured and others that were lost, and I assume eventually found, but it's like you said, it's really a tragedy for those pets. And
yes.
So
it's the largest single day of shelter dogs and things like that, you know, that they have animals to pick up, or people are bringing in animals if they can catch them, because with a lot of
Right.
animals, they can be shivering and hiding for days. I mean, it's really very, very tragic. So, and also, I guess after, so it'll be about, how long's the fireworks show? The beautiful legal one that really is spectacular.
I think it goes about 20 minutes.
Okay, great.
So yeah, should be nice.
And it is visible all over town, and that's a wonderful aspect of it also. So really looking forward to it. And the one thing that's always struck me about the fireworks is it's free. The whole community can take part in it by watching it or going to the park or whatever. And it has so much meaning, the 4th of July, and it has so much meaning to all of us, and we share that. So
yeah,
neat.
right.
Okay, well, anything else that you would like to address while we have you here on a rare appearance?
Well, I'll just do a quick plug that this Saturday, the street festival will be back on downtown Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they started a number of months ago doing this with about 35 vendors, and then it grew to about 50. And I understand that they anticipate as much as about 100 vendors.
Wow, that's great.
This Saturday. So
Mm-hmm.
really fantastic. Get out, look around, shop around, stop and have something to eat, have something to drink, enjoy. There's going to be music, live music down there, including military band.
Oh, wonderful.
And I think some mariachis, or at least some good, local Latin flavor. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it'll be nice to be out and support our.
Be better weather, so it'll be another perfect day in Santa Paula.
Right.
Just one after another. What are you going to do?
Next week, our council will have a chance to adopt their budget, and so your guest on Good Morning Santa Paula will be our mayor, and he can talk a little bit about what that means for the community.
Great, that's right. It is just about getting to be that day, because I know that, July 1st isn't usually when they want people to adopt it, or at least adopt something saying why they didn't. So
yeah, in our case, that is the start of our fiscal year. So
okay, great. Well, wonderful. Well, Dan, always wonderful to see you. And I know you said today you met with the other city managers for the first time in 14 months. And I think that's great, because it's wonderful that all the city managers work together in Ventura County. And I'm sure that this is just the beginning of more and more. And I know you have during the COVID too, but just not in person.
just not in person. So it was nice to see people, see how much hair they had grown.
Yeah, yeah, or where else they've grown,
Right.
What I mean? Well, that's great. Well, Dan, thank you so much. And once again, everybody, this is Good Morning Santa Paula. Our guest today has been Dan Singer, the city manager of Santa Paula. If you'd like to see this on kadytv.com, be sure to visit it. And on YouTube, subscribe. It's free, and it helps bring us more broadcasting like this. It's also available on cable channel 10. And we just really enjoy bringing you updates on news, and especially when it's good news. And we're looking forward to more of that. So everybody have a wonderful weekend. And if you're not vaccinated yet, get in there and get those shots. Do us all a favor. And thank you so much. And everybody be good. And Dan, you be good too.
Thank you, Peggy. You too.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.